Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jacqueline Zacharias, and today I'm bringing you the first video in a training series with this Colt by Metallic Mellis. So I'm going to be showing you everything from the first groundwork session to the first ride and beyond. You can find all the real-time training and the full-length sessions on our membership at successfulhorsemen.com. Let's get into it. All right, so ideally there are three things that I want to accomplish in the first session with every horse that I start. And that is to get the horse lunging both directions around me, to get the hip disengaging, and to teach the horse to back up, okay? So those are three very important things to do in order to get some direction and purpose in your horse's feet. I'm gonna back him up there just a little bit because I would like this horse to give me just a little bit more space. This is a stud colt and he has not been handled hardly at all. He tends to be very pushy, and that is okay. That's very normal for these colts, but I want him to give me a little bit of space, and I need to establish some direction and purpose in those feet in order for me to get control of his mind. There we go. So he's walking around pretty nicely there. So when I start asking them to lunge at this stage, I shorten up that rope, I give them a direction, I point where I want them to go, and then I turn them loose like this so they can move out there, okay? So two common mistakes that people will make is that they either put the horse way out on a line and then they try to get it to lunge and the horse is going here and there and everywhere at the end of that line because he doesn't know where he's supposed to go, or they shorten up the rope, they send the horse off, and then they try to hold them here when this horse does not know how to track on a circle that small. So you want to give the horse direction, shorten up your rope, send them off, and then give them that lead rope, give them some space so that they can move out. I'm going to ask him to step up here. Again, we want some purpose in those feet. Want to establish a little bit of direction. Good deal. Okay, so this is really great. There we go. Notice how I'm not messing with his face a lot. I don't want to give him something to lean against or give him something to pull on. This horse, I can already tell, is extremely stiff. He's extremely strong in the face. And so I'm going to leave him alone as much as possible so that when I do pull on him, it really means something. All right, I'm going to go in here and ask for this disengage, just direct my energy where I'd like him to step the hip over. Obviously, he doesn't know what this means, so I'm just going to stay with him here. We'll shorten up this rope just a little bit, and I'll raise my hand up and toward his shoulder. There we go. He got scared and stepped away. Now, that was not a true disengage. The horse moved his hip over, but he doesn't really know what happened. It was more of a reaction than a response. I'm going to wait here, wait him out, gently bump that nose a little bit so he doesn't lean on me. All right. We're just going to let him have that. Again, not the ideal disengage that we're looking for, but he moved the hip away, he stopped, he faced up, and we're going to let him breathe for just a moment. Good boy. Anytime he looks away like that, I'm going to bring his attention back toward me and then turn him loose again. Because when a horse turns their head away like that, they can not only get a lot of leverage on you if they do decide to run, but if they get spooked and run forward, they're going to run straight into you because they don't even know where you're at that point. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and send him off again. That shoulder. Okay, I'm gonna gather my string up here. Go to that shoulder, step over here, push, very nice. There we go, he's licking and chewing. There we go. Anytime I feel him slow down here, I'm going to get behind the drive line, get a little more energy there. Ask him to step forward. There we go. Good job. There. All right. Then we'll go ahead and ask for that disengage. Again, shorten up, start stepping toward that hip. There we go. And notice how I'm kind of going in an arc toward the hip like that. There we go. Now he's actually thinking about it. He took a couple good steps there, and then he decided to squirt forward again. Wait him out. Beautiful. Not a full disengage, but I really liked the steps that he was taking with his hip. There. Good job. So I want to reward him for that. Good job. Good. Good job. Okay, so a couple things I want to point out there is that when I'm asking a horse to disengage, a very common mistake I see people make is that they'll stop their feet. The horse is still tracking around and they just start bending over like this and trying to get the horse to disengage his feet. Well, they are standing still. what happens is you get in front of that horse's drive line, so often they want to change directions or make a different move, but they don't actually know that they need to move their hip over. So you need to stay in an arc around your horse, walking in the direction of his feet. Keep your feet loose. Bring your hand up toward the shoulder to kind of give him a central point, and then push that hip over, okay? It's not about pulling the horse's head around, but notice how when I raise my hand like this and move toward his shoulder, really gives that a great point of leverage and communication for the horse to understand what I'm asking him to do. All right, good job. Go the other direction. I'll ask him to step off here. Now, if I don't get him here, I'm just gonna walk with him here. Notice how I don't lock my feet up. I don't worry about them backing up. I just stay with him. It's not a big deal. Good job. And we step him off and let him move around a little bit. So anytime I feel him turning inside out like that, I'm going to be a little more proactive there. Make sure that I don't get drug off my feet. Gently ask him to step back in. Good job. And if he doesn't, if at any point he just kind of takes hold of his face and tries to drag me away, that's when I'm going to bump on his face. If I feel resistance, step away from me. See how he kind of wants to cut that circle in? That can get very dangerous very quickly. So be sure that you're giving yourself ample space. Don't let that horse start pushing you around. You need to be sure that you're directing the horse's feet where they should go, not the other way around. He's thinking about moving away. I need some forward motion here. There we go. Give him a little tag on the butt. There we go. Always be prepared. We're going to step him forward again here. There we go. He's going to want to go back toward his herd, so I'm going to be prepared when he heads toward that gate. Good job. All right, now we're going to do a disengage. I'm going to ask him to step around, just wait him out, be gentle, raise my hand up, get hold of that nose, keep stepping toward him until we get the response we need. There we go. Good job. Don't step toward me. I would like you to stay away. Good job. All right, let's go ahead and send him off again. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this over and over again until I feel like I can send that horse out there and bring him back with relative consistency, and I have some control over his feet. And he has a little bit of rapport and understanding with me, okay? And he understands the communication that we're having here. Once we can open up avenues of communication, things are going to get a lot easier. But until we have those avenues, then we can't move on to bigger things, okay? So I would never throw a saddle on a horse on the first day and expect him to figure this stuff out when we have no rapport, no connection, no trust. Communication is going to help us build trust, okay? Without communication, you can't have trust, but you can't get any communication without moving the feet and getting some purpose and energy. There you go. Good job. There we go. Good job. There. There. Good job. Good job. Good job. There we go. This is also very important. This is another step that we're really going to need, is to be able to touch this horse all over, swing ropes all over him, handle his legs, handle his feet. So in the moments when I'm relaxing, when I'm not directly working on an exercise, I'll take my stick in here and just really rub him everywhere. Make sure that he's really comfortable with this stuff, because these are all things that we're going to have to do later on. So if you can break up the routine with different things like that, it's another thing that helps build trust and connection. Good job. All right. So he kind of stepped his shoulder in a little too close to me there. I'm going to back him up pretty aggressively because as a stud, it's very important that you draw those hard lines and maintain boundaries, okay? He's a very, very strong horse. He's very, tends to be very pushy. He knows where he wants to go, and he believes 1,000% that he's the leader in this situation. So we're trying to establish an understanding where he knows that I can move his feet where I want them to go as well. And the faster we do that, the safer it is for both of us. See how he's getting in a little closer? I'm just going to take my string and push him away. There. Now, ideally, I was going to go around a couple more circles, but notice there when that rope hit him, the way he disengaged his feet and faced up and started licking and chewing. I'm going to let him have that moment because to him that was a moment of connection. A light bulb hit in that moment whenever he felt the rope. Instead of trying to bolt and pull against me, he stepped his hip away and said, hey, what are we going to do here? Now this is the other situation you're going to encounter where they decide the direction they're going to go. There we go. And you want to be very careful in that scenario where your feet go and where you put the horse. A lot of people tend to be too rigid on their groundwork. So when they set their feet somewhere, they want to just kind of stand there and expect the horse to do all the work around them. And what I want to teach you is that you have to be flexible. You have to be able to dance with this horse, okay? So if he starts moving this way, you need to move this way faster and block that shoulder and push him back the other direction, okay? And just like we were talking about with the hip, you've got to be flexible to move your to move your feet in order to stay with the horse. All right, now I'll ask for the disengage right here. Good job. A little more. Good job. Very nice. Gather my string up and rub him. Good job. Good job. All right. Push that shoulder away. Good job. Stay away. There we go. Now this is where I don't want you to be moving your feet. When the horse comes around and they start cutting that circle in closer and closer and dropping their shoulder in toward you, you need to have the authority to move and go toward that horse instead of stepping away from him. I see a lot of people continue to give ground, and all that does is muddy the waters for the horse, okay? I don't necessarily like to use the term being the alpha and so on and so forth, but I do think that sometimes that can be a good representation or a way to describe what you want to do with this horse. You want to be their leader. You want to be able to take their hand and say, listen, I know what I want here, and confidently approach the situation and take charge, because in the perfect world, that's what all horses are looking for, is someone to lead and protect. Good job. And if you can confidently do both of those things, you're going to have an excellent partnership. Good job. I like how he's also taking heat a little bit better, and it's not so bothersome to him anymore. Good job. There we go. String back up. Very nice. Good job. So up to this point, we pretty much just worked on lunging and the disengage, but we haven't really worked on the backup. I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. I'm going to send him back off this direction one more time. There we go. Stay over there. Good job. He's so much more tuned in. And I'm really, really loving the look in his eyes and the way he's actually focusing on me. Good job. Instead of the environment around him so much anymore. That's just phenomenal progress. Again, he's got a great mind. He's going to be a good horse. So now I'm going to go ahead and work on the backup. Now, what I used to do when I'd go do the backup is to kind of do the Clinton Anderson thing and start way out here and wiggle the rope and then wave, walk, whack, that whole thing. But now I really like to start by applying pressure just under the halter, and then I'll take my stick and follow it up and bump the horse. And we started out this way. So pressure, and then I bump the horse and guide him backward, okay? Gentle pressure, bump the horse, guide him backward. Good job. Gentle pressure, and he backed up on his own, okay? So what this allows me to do, don't lean on me. What this allows me to do is to kind of guide that horse backward so that when I do get out here and I start asking him to back up, once I make contact with the stick, it's not going to be so offensive to him anymore because he already understands what it means. He's already been through it a little bit. Let's bring him up here so we can stay out of the shadows. Good boy. He's licking and chewing. The head's dropping down a little bit more. Obviously, he still has a little bit of separation anxiety about being away from his buddy, but he's doing so much better. Such a good boy. Okay, so once again, gonna take this halter under here, bump, ask him to step back. Ask him to step back. Good job. Another reason I like to do it this way is because our end goal is to be able to get on the horse and to get him started and get him going in the bridle. And the more I can do on the ground while I'm doing these things, the better. I mean, why not step ahead when you can? So this really allows me to try to transfer that information to under saddle. When I draw on the reins and I'm in my loping hackamore and my bit and that horse feels pressure here, he already knows a little bit what it means. So that's another reason I like to do it this way before just waving my rope. Good job. He keeps trying to lean on me. I'm going to bump him a little bit on the nose. There we go. Again, establish a boundary. Good job. Asking to back up, step toward him. Good job. Asking to back up, step toward him. And once I'm moving, I maintain a consistent rhythm there, okay? So what I see a lot of people do, and this can be so confusing to the horses, is that they'll start wiggling, and then they kind of ease up to the horse, and when the horse doesn't start moving, then they just kind of pansy off on everything they're doing. Their energy completely drops, and they just say, oh, I was bluffing, I give up. If you start walking toward that horse with energy and asking him to back up, you need to commit. You need to continue to walk through there. Make contact if you have to, but ask the horse to back up so he knows that when you start walking toward him with energy, something has to change, okay? Don't pansy out. Don't give up on your horse. Good job. Very nice. We need him to know that when we say we're confident about something, we truly are. We're not bluffing. Good job. That was a very nice backup. I'm going to leave that alone because that was excellent. All right, guys, so those are the 3 exercises I really want to have established in my first training session with every colt that I start. In our next video, we're going to be working on more on like ropes and maybe a flag, things to help this horse really calm down and get a little bit more desensitized and build trust with us. And we're also going to be working on getting more connection in these circles, going for a little bit longer, getting softness, all the things that we'll need before we step on and put a saddle on this horse. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.